picture of one of the sheets someone spray painted on. SOS, 20 plus people trapped up here. It's the street that, you know, we drove through just the night before to get to the Airbnb, and it's completely covered.
The circumstances will change. I pray that the fear inside me, in Jesus' name. I pray that a breakthrough would happen today. I pray miracles over your life in Jesus' name. I pray for revival, the restoration of faith. What are you
Tennessee, baby. We're in the big North Carolina catastrophe, but we got a fire because we're from Tennessee, baby. We're trapped at a gas station and we're out of gas, but we're having the best prepper camp adventure possible because we're in these beautiful mountains. Look, we even have toilet paper. Lands here. So
is this the land?
Yep. We'll be using all our toilet paper today. Look at the flood, guys. Real life prepper camp, baby. Hashtag lamb's ear. Who needs their butt wiped? Where's your sister?
Welcome back to another episode of the High Frequency Chaos. Today, we're diving down the rabbit hole of the people's story, the aftermath of Helene, and what exactly is our government doing about it. You know, the media won't post these horrific stories, and they don't want to cover it only to a certain extent. We're going to bring these stories for you, the world, to see. The horrible treatment that the locals are enduring, and still no help, no aid. As we saw in the other video, they're not even getting the little aid that they were supposed to get. And did you know that $750 is a loan? And if they take that loan and they don't pay it back, they can seize their property and collateral. What are your thoughts on that? All right, let's get diving down this rabbit hole. Grab your drink of choice, and let's get going. Hawk, you ready, Spike? All right, let's go. Salud.
Guys, this is fucking unreal. Holy shit, unreal.
I vow to you, and I vow to all of them, I will bring all their stories for the world to see. People need to know what happened. They need to know that our governments have failed us. They need to hear their stories. You need to hear their stories. That's my promise to you and to them. Can you imagine how scared he is? How terrified? And they're saying this is not bad?
I've lived in the Middle East many years, and this is worse than any war that I've been in. It's horrendous. I mean, there's no roads. There's no evidence of roads. There's no trees. It's just water and stone. When it comes to where we're gonna go from here, I guess anywhere but here. I don't see anything to go back to. There's nothing left. The firefighters are telling us it's going to be at least 6 months before we see our house again. And frankly, I doubt very much that it'll be that fast. So. Hey, dude. Amazing.
Carolina. I really don't want to make this video, but it is literally a matter of life and death for the people of North Carolina. So, my name's Jonathan Howard. I'm a member of the Florida State Guard Special Missions Unit, and I'm also up here with Aerial Recovery, a nonprofit. I came up here on Sunday with Aerial Recovery before we even got activated. We flew up here, and then we got activated, which is great. I have my team up here working as well. Here's the problem. I'm going to tell you everything that's happening from the ground, what I'm actually seeing, because what they're telling you is complete bullshit on the news, and these politicians don't have a fucking clue, and they're lying. And I'll say this now, I'll say it at the end of the video. The only thing I need from this video is helicopters. If I have helicopters, I can save lives. Without helicopters, I can't reach these people. It doesn't matter how many chainsaws and trucks I got, I can't get to them. They're 10 miles in, 20 miles, 40 miles in the mountains. There's no way to get with them or even communicate with them. I am literally flying around in a civilian helicopter looking for SOS messages carved in the mud or painted on the ground, and we're dropping down and saving them. What got me fired up about this was yesterday, me and my team did the rescue of that 11-day-old baby. And all these government officials and social media, they're showing that video of that rescue and claiming that like they have some like government help with that. And I mean, even USA, I think it was USA Today, wrote an article about it saying it was a Florida National Guard that went and got it, like with a helicopter. No, it was me, my buddy Charlie, and a civilian named Zeb with his own personal helicopter out of Wilmington, North Carolina. Like without that civilian, that baby would be dead. And the old lady we went and rescued after that, she'd be dead too because she had 1 day left of oxygen. No one was going to go get them.
God, please let me get across. Let me get across. Please let me get across. Please let me get across. Oh, great. Please don't let me get across. Please, Jesus, please. Please. Oh, that just about made it. Oh, Mom. No. 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 Johnny. Come on.
Water. So I just got out of the water. We're up at the local emergency operations center. They have a Starlink set up, and water rescues are continuous. So the mud is insane here. The amount of bridges that are out, the amount of landlocked, stranded people is unbelievable. There's still plenty of people completely unaccounted for. Keep these locals in your prayers, because I've been doing this since 2013. I got some guys with me that have done it 30 years, and they've never seen anything like this. It's wild. The pictures and videos are nothing compared to seeing it in person. I don't even know how it's possible that it happened. But the job goes on.
Literally just had somebody have a conversation with me and them tell me, what are you talking about? What happened in Asheville? That's because the news isn't broadcasting it. People think that just because the hurricane already happened and that it's gone, that there's nothing like more that needs to be said about it. That everybody's fine and everybody's just living their best life now because the hurricane's gone. Does anybody have a clue at what happened and what's left behind or not left behind because it got swept away or crushed or destroyed? On top of the ports going on strike now? Like, bro, what are we doing, people? Like, meanwhile, in Texas, we have people running to the store so they can buy toilet paper, which 97% of paper products are made in the United States, people. But ultimately, everybody's panicking again and gonna put us all in the fucking hole again, like what happened during COVID. We have bigger fish to fry, ladies and gentlemen. It's called Asheville, North Carolina, and all the surrounding areas of it, because it is destroyed. We are still pulling people out of mud, whether they are alive or not. Imagine you're sitting in your home and your Ring camera or your whatever camera you have internally in your house catches water and mud flying through your house. You just lost everything. You lost everything. And imagine if you're sitting there and your baby's in the bouncer on the ground and your dog's laying on the floor next to him and the mud comes through. What do you do? What do you do? You start digging frantically and pray to God that you can find them. But then you do find them and you can't get to a hospital because your bridge and road is gone. You can't get air life support because there's nowhere for them to land, because now your roof is caving in. You're also yourself, let's say, a diabetic, and now your medication's gone and there's no pharmacy to go get more. So now your blood sugar's either going to tank or go sky high, and then you risk needing to go to a hospital, but you can't. Oh, and let's not forget, it may have just been time to feed your baby, and now this happened, and your baby's starving, and you can't produce breast milk, and you have no formula because the formula is buried under the mud. But people don't understand or know that because it's not on the news. There's animals. Animals, dude. I get people are as important as animals to me. I mean, everybody that has a living, breathing soul is important in my life. They don't have food to give them. Dude, these are helpless creatures, man. Like, I've sent supplies, I've donated, like, to these different things, and I don't feel like I'm doing enough. And I literally am at work, and now they're calling in nurses to go. And my husband's a lineman. They're calling linemen to go, but there's nowhere to go. There's no power lines to get on because they can't access them. There's no hospitals for me to go to, so we'd have to make pop-up tents to, like, triage people, but there's nowhere to put them. There's nowhere to put these triage tents. Like, I can't. It breaks my heart. And I know that I've mentioned Jacqueline. She is like the best point of contact when it comes to everything, but like, she is so overwhelmed. I don't even want to put that on her. But if you just watch her stories and follow what she's talking about, like, you'll find access to be able to donate and stuff. I'm not trying to open a Venmo or do that because I'm not wanting to be responsible for people's money. Just know that if you do go follow Jacqueline or go to her page or Instagram, she's keeping everything pretty up to date, but she is one person. She is overwhelmed. She is a mother, she is a wife, and she still ultimately has to make sure herself is okay. If you can donate, if you can go, if you can do anything to help, love y'all. Bye.
So this video is the fifth link. You can find her video, and in her video, she has the link for Jacqueline. Don't give to FEMA at all, or the bigwig governments. Give to these people. And I'm going to show you some more locals. And, now the footage is coming out. These are going to be some real locals that you're about to see. I would say donate to their links.
Doing the right, I'm going to show you, people did what they could to prepare. Take note to all the mud, but also take note to the sandbags. People were doing the right thing. They could never have guessed the water would get up to there. That is the water line. You can see it there and on the other one as well, and in other buildings. That has got to be, in this part of Biltmore Village, every bit of 10 to 12 feet, I would imagine, of a water line. Truly remarkable and so sad, especially because of the death toll here in North Carolina, looking into people's businesses. And another one over here. An Indian restaurant destroyed. A lot of work is going to have to go into bringing just this one small part of the greater Asheville area back.
In the house at that point. I mean, it was literally like you were stuck on an island, and I just didn't know what to do. There was no leaving the house at that point.
Russell says she watched from her window as cars and RVs floated by. Then she heard part of the house collapse.
When you start hearing that, it's almost like a movie. And then the front door, the water pushed it in, and it pushed in the back door. And within 30 seconds, it went from the ground to neck level.
Russell says she and her dog floated on a mattress in her home for nearly 8 hours, hoping to be rescued.
It's like you go from this scariest feeling and place to almost peaceful, because it was like you were already so scared, and your body's getting cold from being in the water, and you're getting sore from just shaking from being in the water. And it's just like your body almost goes numb. And
it wasn't until 6 in the evening when Russell's husband, David, was able to reach her.
And the minute I seen him, I thought this is my only chance to get out. And so me and the dog took off down the front yard, but the currents were so strong that I only made it maybe 10 feet. And I had to yell to them, like, I can't walk anymore, or it's going to take me.
Russell considers herself lucky. She made it out. She knows others weren't so fortunate.
Somebody was at the river and just looking at the destruction and cars upside down, and saw Halloween costumes floating down a river, and then she saw faces and realized they weren't costumes. She said, I've seen bodies and I'm not okay with that. And then somebody called and said, when is somebody going to come collect all the bodies that have piled up along the embankment of the river? And then a man called saying, I need 911 at my house. And somebody said, why? Are you okay? And he said, yes, I'm okay. But I opened my front door, and there are several bodies in my front yard.
We found our cash register. We've been looking, for any of our tools, anything that we can try to salvage. We'd been here for 25 plus years. We done all kinds of mechanic work, North Carolina inspections. We'd worked all day, like picking stuff up, putting it up on the lifts and stuff like that. But we never thought that it would take our entire building out. Asheville Waste Paper was down here. We had the winery next door to us. Pretty much completely flattened.
We're in what used to be the
barrel room.
And then this was all the tasting room. And then our roof some of it is wrapped up over there.
Honestly, just thought we were going to come and clean up and be back to work, but that was a little naive.
We're just grabbing wine and little keepsakes and mementos that as we can find it, but most of it's gone.
Gosh dang it, I think we can save this thing. This has been my livelihood for 5 years. This is where I work. This is where I am every day. This is where I make my paintings. This is where my heart lives. And it's devastated. Got everything on the second floor thinking it would be safe, and the water went a little higher than anyone ever imagined it could. It got inundated with water and just sort of spread all over the gallery. So you can see the paint coming down the stairs. Don't let the get you down. And it's sunflowers, everyone knows the meaning of that. But what a better time of hope in this just devastation for so many.
If anybody in Asheville, North Carolina is in a shelter, maybe one that has dogs or cats, I can't get in touch with my daughter. Her name is Tatum Morse. She's 5'7". She might weigh 130 pounds. All communication is down. None of my messages are going through. I can't get in touch with her at work. If anybody out there runs into a Tatum Morse, and please let her know her mom is looking for her, waiting for her to call. I'm watching the news and it's saying that there's flooding on every road. And they're completely cut off. And I can't get in touch with my daughter. Please. Her name is Tatum Morse. If you're in a shelter and you happen to see this message, please let her know that I love her and I'm waiting for her to call me back. None of my messages are going through.
And I had to explain to him something that had to be explained to me, even as a rescuer. When I watched the National Guard and they confirmed that the smells I had been smelling were most likely bodies, I was like, well, where are they so I can get to them? You can't get to them. They're crushed in debris. They're up in trees. They're under sediment. They're under sand. Unfortunately, it will be a very long time before you find all these people that are missing. And I haven't even had internet, so I don't even know what the number is. And they don't have a number here yet because we're still getting communication.
And where is here generally? Would you call this Green Mountain?
This is called Red Hill.
Red Hill.
That's called Green Mountain.
Okay.
But here's the kicker. The county line was the river. The river's way wider.
Yeah.
So we're in both counties. It's changed.
Right.
A lot of folks kept asking me questions like the swiftwater teams that were coming out. They weren't rescue again; they were recovery. They were asking me how deep the river is. As a river outfitter, and a boater, we had like rocks that we use. We have landmarks that we use. They're gone. I can't tell you how deep the river is. I don't know. And every single water gauge on this river was knocked out by the flood. And we had a working water gauge during Hurricane Fred, and I've reported it broken since Hurricane Fred, but they never fixed it. And that was the only flood gauge for the entire Mitchell County.
Are those put out by like NOAA?
North Carolina Emergency Management is in charge of the gauges, and then they're supposed to get in touch with the state and tell the state when they're broken. But hey, I've only reported it to the state and North Carolina Emergency Management, the county, and the city of Mitchell County since Hurricane Fred, whatever year that was. And yeah, so we still don't have a working water gauge. We didn't during this event.
Wow.
It would have been nice.
Yeah, absolutely. I know the French Broad had water gauges, and I was telling people it's already here. It's going to be 10 times as high. Get away from this location.
Absolutely. Well, and by the time, I think that's an important thing. By the time I got that text this morning, go to high ground.
Yeah.
I got it yesterday.
And we're a week past the flood.
Correct. So that go to higher ground came in after everybody up here lost cell service. So mind you, no one got, these people probably didn't get that alert because no one had cell service at that point. That's when, I don't know what happened to the towers, I still don't know, but when that cell service went out before electricity did, like we didn't.
Is your cell service still out?
Yes.
A week later? So yeah, like you said, you don't have internet. You obviously don't have power there either. Probably when do you expect to have power?
They don't know. They're saying in a week. I'm not sure. We'll see.
Yeah.
They're saying the biggest thing that Bradshaw Fire and Rescue is where I've been doing a lot of my volunteering or helping with those guys lately. The person running the disaster relief up there is saying this is going to be an ongoing effort. So what's happening is we're getting all these supplies in, and these are little teeny tiny fire departments. They don't have, people are upset because they're getting turned away with supplies. It's not because we don't want your supplies. It's because we don't have anywhere to put them.
Right.
And we have people looting, so we can't just leave them out. And since this is going to be an ongoing effort, we need you to bring those supplies in periodically. We've got enough of like food and water now. We need to change gears because it's going to be 40 degrees on Monday.
Yeah.
Our concern up here is most people, luckily a lot of people have wood staves because these are really old houses. But I think a lot of the people that didn't evacuate, when it turns 40, they might change their mind. It's going to be cold and miserable.
The River Arch District in North Carolina, Asheville. As you can see behind me, this area was heavily impacted with the flood, and there's a lot of debris and mud left over. One of the things that we're offering right now is a public service announcement. The goal here is to inform people and the general public about limiting their exposure and contact with the water and the mud, especially near the red zones of the areas right off the French Broad River. Any river that's been affected, you need to basically be very aware of. So there's a few pieces of information I want to share with you and a protocol. Number one, if you're going to be getting muddy and working on a cleanup crew, whether you're emergency medical or just have boots on the ground and you're local, please wear waterproof clothing, effective boots, a mask, and the appropriate eyewear, and of course gloves. A long sleeve is the best. Waterproof clothing is ideal. Anything that if the mud can get on that you can rinse off afterwards to decontaminate. The mud is toxic. It is highly contaminated. Record-breaking contaminants are being found in the mud, and we're looking forward to sharing that soon. But for now, please share this with other people. This is a public service announcement. This is to basically protect people, your loved ones, your community, and your friends. So, number one, wear those types of clothing. Waterproof everything, gloves, mask up as well. I know post-COVID, but hey, this is important for you not to breathe this in. Number two, most importantly, decontaminate your clothes. Do not take them in your house. Do not let your kids play in the mud. Number three, be safe. Limit exposure. We're all being exposed, including me, right here, right now. But this is for you. Limit exposure and be safe out there. Thank you.
Damn near got in a full-on fist fight with the manager of the Weaverville, North Carolina Ingalls yesterday because across the street the Publix was opening their doors to the people, letting them take what they need on honor system, while the fucking Ingalls across the street barricaded its doors, letting their food rot, letting their ice melt, letting their water and baby formula stay untouched. Ingalls touts itself as a local community, a store for the people, yet it would rather let us rot along with the food in its freezer before lending a fucking finger to its community. Ingalls corporate should be ashamed. The manager of the Weaverville, North Carolina Ingalls should be ashamed and fired. The people will not forget how you abandoned them when they needed it most. And to the cops that give a shit about protecting corporate greed over saving lives,
I've been here in Western North Carolina for about a week now. This is in the Asheville area, East Asheville, Swannanoa River Road is what I'm standing on right now, or what used to be Swannanoa River Road. This is the river over here. I can show you guys this area behind me. Just really washed out. And we've seen throughout the weekend multiple search and rescue teams out here, some from Massachusetts, some from New Jersey, coming to look for people who may still be missing. This golf course behind me, I was told by people who live here that it just went through a $2 million renovation. It's with the city of Asheville, and it is destroyed at this moment. So lots of destruction left to be cleaned up. It's been a week, over a week now at this point, and a lot of people still are missing at this moment. So it's going to be a long road ahead for people here.
The people in North Carolina, you deserve to hear this. I'm a truck driver, all right? I have a 53-foot step deck. I've been trucking for about 2.5 years. I have a YouTube channel. You can verify that on Babyline Hotshot. Usually in a disaster situation, it is payday for truckers. We look for that hurricane. We look for that ice storm. There's generators coming to you. There's stuff coming out of military bases. There is excavators, skid steers, bulldozers, tree trimming equipment, pumps, like water pumps to pump water out of places that have been flooded. There's no loads on the load board coming to you within 125 miles of Asheville. It's called Truck Stop. This is where I find all my loads. Chicago, Illinois, up at the top. Within 250 miles of Chicago is where I'm going to pick up. The second is the destination. So it goes origin, destination. Watch. See? Drop-off location. Let's do city. North Carolina. Click it. Boom. All right. These are all $1.40 a mile loads, $1.39. That was posted yesterday. I mean, there's nothing. There's nothing. These are loads that you wouldn't even, nobody's taking them. They're just on the load board. They've been on there since yesterday. You can see, right? Let's type in a different city. That's from Chicago. Maybe Tennessee, maybe Nashville is closer, and they'd send resources from Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville, Tennessee, within 250 miles of Nashville, to Asheville, North Carolina, within 125 miles. Let's see, that's it. That's all the loads. That's all the loads that are 28,000 pounds and less. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I mean, what the hell's going on here? I had brokers call me and tell me, Stu, have you seen any loads going to Asheville or like anywhere around the Carolinas, South Carolina, Georgia? Is there any like FEMA loads? There's none. Zero. He's been a broker for 6 years. And he's talking to other brokers. They're saying the same thing. What's going on, guys?
So what really is going on? I mean, let's keep diving down this rabbit hole. Do your own research. Everything that I'm showing you here today is just for your own research. I believe what I believe. You're going to believe what you believe. But come on, things just don't seem right.
And here's some video of all of those supplies being loaded onto those trailers by so many people in the community who decided that they just wanted to help do this. They sacrificed their time to make sure that those who need it right now have what they are going to get. In addition to all the different supplies, different local businesses also pitched in, including one that donated 500 gallons of diesel to help repair and allow this trip to even happen in the first place. The owner of Angie Subs, Ed Malin, and even another driver, Chris Sanchez, they said that just seeing the outpouring of support from people who don't even know those who are affected in North Carolina, that spoke volumes to them.
I probably cried 5 times yesterday just thinking about the love that was outpouring in this parking lot and how great the people of North Florida and the beaches are. So, yeah, I've never felt better about it.
Send batteries and look who made it here. Burnsville, NC. Pensacola needs supplies to their fire department. Send batteries and flashlights ASAP. Emergency radios are needed. Send walkie-talkies too. People lost their homes and everything they have here. You can help by getting out with supplies and exploring. There's people who haven't been out since before the storm. They don't know what's going on. You are their hope. Go to a supply center and load up when you can. Deliver to our folks in need. They need stuff to make it. Shout out to Tristan for helping us today. You are very kind. This right here is where the road used to continue to. This man here survived by jumping out his home window when rocks and water came flooding in.
Amazing. So we need to start a GoFundMe page to keep you guys going. Yeah, keep you open. I will. So if you guys want to support these guys that are feeding anyone who is hungry for their own money, message me. I'll send you a way to sponsor them. We would love to keep this kitchen going. So many people are hungry, and these people are meeting the need, doing Lord's work, that's for sure. No power, no water. People are hungry. Some people have not had a hot meal in days because literally no running water, no power. And we got people serving here. Coffee station. Stop by, have a coffee. Look at them working. Look at them. Anyone who wants to stop and get food.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Ingram. This is the Ingram Angle from Washington tonight. I have a very big announcement about this show that you do not want to miss. But first,
no water, barely got food, everything expiring in our fridge.
Being without power is not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is not having drinkable water.
Right now, everything is just devastating. It's eye-opening. I talked to one of my close childhood friends yesterday, and her house is completely destroyed. And we're just thankful we can get here to get diapers and formula and a hot meal, because right now those are very important to us because the stores don't have them.
at least 230 people have lost their lives across 6 states from Hurricane Helene. There are 1.8 million total power outages. Buncombe County, North Carolina alone, where Asheville is, makes up 31% of the total deaths. And there are at least 200 people still unaccounted for. Now, families, as you heard, are continuing to struggle to get basic necessities. And that means that private citizens, in the absence of federal government relief, they have to provide relief. And this is all despite assurances from the Biden-Harris administration that the government would have hurricane season completely covered.
FEMA is tremendously prepared. This is what we do. This is what they do. And the key here, Rebecca, is also to make sure that the communities who are potentially impacted are prepared as well.
Can you believe anything that that man says about anything? Look, like there are lies about COVID, inflation, Afghanistan, the consequences have been devastating.
We just feel like we're being forgotten. We haven't received any response from FEMA.
We're not getting the amount of support that we need.
We haven't seen FEMA. We haven't seen Red Cross. We haven't seen Hearts with Hands. We've seen no agencies come through here. Most people drive through with their cameras out, filming us like we're animals in a zoo.
It's too late. I mean, they took too long. They keep saying we the people. No, there is no we the people. It's them versus us.
That's how it feels to many Americans tonight. But rest assured, Kamala is on her way to North Carolina for what will be another photo op disguised as real leadership. Now, this is a pattern that we've seen play out in crisis after crisis under the Biden-Harris administration. First, they falsely reassure us that they're prepared. Then, when disaster strikes, we, the people, discover the true story, the neglect. Resources wasted on their left-wing causes like DEI or illegal immigrants. Money that should have gone to help American people in need. Yeah, save it for a rainy day. Then the cover-up comes. They politicize the tragedy by pretending They've done everything possible to alleviate the suffering, while their media allies shift the blame onto the man who hasn't been in office for 4 years, Donald Trump. And then right on cue, here's Politico, claiming Trump is the man who made the disaster response himself political. But in reality, Trump is showing all of us what real leadership looks like during a natural disaster. Today, he was in Georgia again, this time alongside Governor Kemp.
I want to thank President Trump for coming back to our state again for the second time to view storm damage and keep a national focus on our state as we recover.
I'm not thinking about voters right now. I'm thinking about lives. And to be honest, it's much bigger than anything else. But we're thinking about lives, a lot of lives lost, a lot of people missing. And that's what I'd be focused on right now.
A statesman. Yeah, you saw it. And while Biden and Harris have been patting themselves on the back for how they've handled this disaster, Trump is giving credit where it's actually due.
I want to thank Elon Musk, by the way, for his quick action with Starlink. He supplied a lot of equipment to the governor, to Georgia, and to North Carolina in particular, and he acted very, very quickly. They needed communication. There was no communication. The poles are down, the wires are down, and he acted really, really quickly.
Of course, Kamala, Joe, were they going to call up Elon Musk, the man that they've been setting upon for these past few years, thank him for the work that he's doing? No. Yeah, what they are doing, though, is throwing up obstacles to his assistance. Musk says he received a note from a SpaceX engineer that said that the big issue is that FEMA is actively blocking shipments and seizing goods and services locally and then locking them away to state that, well, they're their own. It's very real and scary how much they've taken control to help stop people helping. We're blocked now on the shipments of new Starlings coming in until we can get an escort from the fire department, but that may not be enough. Now, the only way to stop this pattern that I just laid out, the pattern of neglect, lies, cover-ups, from having this repeat again and again, is to kick Kamala out of the White House. Otherwise, it's going to be another 4 years of needless and infuriating American suffering.
Can I have your name, please?
John H. Conrad III.
And what are you doing here?
I'm a pilot for Aerolux Aviation out of Nashville, Tennessee, with a couple other guys. And we're here to help all the people that are stranded after the storm.
I can raise it up here.
Just basically, we're in Nashville, Tennessee. Saw the news, what was going on. We decided, let's go help.
And what has been your experience? Because there's been a lot of outrage and a lot of questions about the federal government's response. With you being here on the ground and in the air, what has been your takeaway from how they've handled this disaster?
Well, there is a complete and utter lack of federal government response. We think whoever's in charge right now flew by yesterday through the TFR. I've seen nobody on the ground. Ivanka Trump came yesterday, talked to us. Elon Musk guy's been here talking to us. Glenn Beck is here now talking to us. I've seen no one from the federal government to help out at all. Nobody.
And what do you think about that?
To be honest, it just pisses me off. This is our country. We should be being taken care of priority one instead of all the other countries. It enrages everybody here. 90% of us, there's about 100 to 150 volunteers here at this site. 90% of us are retired military. And it just pisses us off because we sweat blood, sweat and tears for this country, and they don't give back whatsoever.
And so what are some of the successes that you guys have been doing and that you've seen through this volunteer operation?
Oh, yeah. So we have multiple entities. Some of the guys live here in this town. We came from Nashville, Tennessee. There's guys from Texas. Everybody comes here. We consolidated here. Everybody is starting to work together really, really well. Hundreds of thousands of pounds of water, fuel, oxygen, medicine, insulin, all that stuff we have been taking to people's house and delivering to them. So insane amount of help just from normal civilians.
And how are all those supplies being procured?
There's a lot of businesses are donating them. They're coming in 18-wheeler loads. I'm not sure who the businesses are. All I know is 18-wheelers full of water show up, food, grocery stores. I think Ingles around here, the grocery stores donate a lot of food. And we consolidated here. We have 3 aircraft that we brought with us, and we consolidated into 400-pound packages per aircraft, and we get the locals call us with a grid or address where they need food and water or medicine. We fly it out there and land in their yard and drop it off.
Can you estimate how many deliveries you guys have made?
Oh, goodness. Last 2 days, rough estimate, probably 100,000 pounds of food, water, and mainly food and water, and then, of course, medicine. Today, I dropped off 14 bottles of oxygen at one place.
What does this area need the most that you're aware of?
Honestly, this area the most needs construction crews. We have plenty of water, food. I don't mean to say plenty of water and food like we don't need any more. We have a lot on hand that we can distribute. They need road clearance and people to rebuild the roads. A lot of the roads are completely destroyed. When I say completely destroyed, they are gone. There is not even 20 feet of road to drive over.
And what's the one thing that you want the rest of the country to know about what's happening here?
To be 100% honest, the rest of the country, I want them to know normal, everyday Americans make the difference. Don't depend on the federal government. They're not here to help.
We always knew not to trust the government. The American people knew. We are the ones that are helping our people by broadcasting what's really going on out there. Fox, is the only one that's really broadcasting some of these stories. Wuhan, I like Wuhan, Scott Australia, some of these channels. And stay away from the mainstream news. Get your news off of YouTube, TikTok. You can't trust the mainstream.
This is really real, okay? I'm in North Carolina. The people in Western North Carolina, yes, there are a lot of people that are donating their time. They're coming with all kinds of machinery and vehicles, and I'm so thankful for that. But I want you to watch a video. If you have time to watch the regular news is not reporting this. What I'm getting ready to show you, and show the video I'm getting ready to show you, the regular news is not reporting this. I want you to go watch the video from Jonathan Howard, Florida State Guard, Special Division, Special Operations. I can't remember exactly what his title is, but his team was activated, and they actually rescued a baby in a civilian helicopter in Western North Carolina, and then the news reported on it and gave the government credit. This is not a political post. I'm just telling you absolute truth, how it is right now. They need helicopters. And the sad part is there are military aircraft grounded, sitting there, not doing a damn thing, and civilian helicopters with civilians that are paying their own fuel going up and rescuing these people. A lot of these folks, while there are some folks that their towns they're able to get to, there are a lot of folks in Tennessee and North Carolina that you can't get to. The roads, they're completely cut off. There are men, there are women, there are children, there are animals that are stranded. They're dying every day because they're out of food and water. They're out of medication. The only thing that would reach them is a helicopter. Watch this video. It's so freaking frustrating. People get on here and they say, well, the president did this and the governor did this, but there are orders that they have to wait on to fly these helicopters. And for some reason, they're not. Civilians are doing it. If you can't do anything else and you want to see your donation actually work, I'm taking supplies. I'm taking supplies to the Lincoln Regional Airport in North Carolina, where the civilian helicopters and aircraft are literally, we're loading the aircraft up, taking them into the places that they can't reach, the places that are cut off, and giving people supplies. The donation link is in my bio. Supplies are a necessity right now for the people that are in these areas. And even if we're dropping them or lowering them down, whatever, getting them supplies, at least they can live. Watch this video. It's the video before this one. I just posted it. Watch Jonathan Howard's video. That's the real news.
In the missing persons group for North Carolina and Tennessee, there's a Google Doc that they're all sharing with each other, a live Google Doc where you can add a missing person's name, and there's a column that says missing, found, or deceased. There are over 2,000 names on this list. I didn't see any duplicates. And there's so many missings. So many fucking missings. This is, I cannot imagine what these people are going through.
Look, I'm just saying. Why get a goddamn long son of a bitch? Step over here just so people don't amp you up, all right? So, again, I get it. You guys got told by her. She gave me instructions to come talk to you guys. That you guys have already gotten ample amount of time. That I don't know what she told you. I'm giving you guys a warning. That's it. Just please back up for me. That's literally it.
Do you see us trying to get our stuff?
I got you. I don't know what you guys been doing. Again, this is.
I did.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Again, I don't know what you guys been doing. I'm just giving you guys a warning that we're trying to get people through. So if I have to come back out over here, like, I don't know, like the jail is processing, all right? That's it. That's the last report.
So you're going to take us to jail.
Come here. Look, I'm not taking you to jail.
You're threatening to take me to jail for trying to get our stuff off our property so the crackheads don't get it, right?
You calling Karen, please?
I know.
But there are packing and leaving us right now. You guys advise me that.
And so they are packing up to leave, is that correct? Alright, well, as long as he's giving them a warning, go ahead and go out to the lead parks, and if we need to get another officer out here once we get to the next shift, then we'll deal with it then.
You heard?
Thank you.
You heard?
Yeah, I heard her.
So you can be upset all you want. I'm giving you guys a warning. I get it. You guys okay? I'm giving you guys a warning that if they have to come back out here, they probably have to escalate from there.
I guess they got to escalate it then.
Okay.
Because we're trying to get our shit. But you know what? I guarantee you.
Communities of color that are most impacted by these extreme conditions and impacted by issues that are not of their own making. And so absolutely. And so we have to address this in a way that is about giving resources based on equity, understanding that we fight for equality, but we also need to fight for equity, understanding not everyone starts out at the same place. And if we want people to be in an equal place, sometimes we have to take into account those disparities and do that work.
That clown that we just saw and the administration have been, for the last 4 years, been messing up the middle class. They're making it poorer, even poorer. The 1%, they're getting richer, and all these disasters, all these wars, all these things are happening. The strike with the trucks. They get richer while we dwindle, the middle class, while the poor gets poorer. That's what's really happening. Okay, let me give you something. All that ever really mattered was the fact that the masses gathered, vaccinated, penetrated, decimated. That's what they're doing, and that's what they want to do. We the people must stay strong in these dark, deceptive times.
The bosses left, but told the workers to pick between their lives and their livelihoods, and the workers lost their lives. This is a story coming out of Tennessee. Impact Plastics. Family members of missing people are claiming that their family members went into work because they were told that they had to, and now they are missing. 5 of them are confirmed dead. And what is occurring and what is pissing me off so bad right now is that the bosses are alive to tell the tale. They put out a statement categorically denying the allegations, saying that they told them to leave. They had a translator. They had somebody saying it in English. They had somebody saying it in Spanish. But what I will say is if what the family members and if what people are saying is true and the bosses decided to jeopardize the lives of workers just to make an extra dollar, I hope they lose everything they have, and I hope they rot in a prison cell. Workers are not expendable, okay? Workers are not pawns for you to use just so you can stuff your pockets. Our lives have value. Our lives matter. I truly hope that the people that are currently missing are found. Hurricane Helene wreaked havoc all over the Southeast. There are parts of Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina that will never be the same because of the storm. There are people dead, people that have lost everything, and I truly hope that they find these
Are
people
they still
out in
not
Tennessee.
there anywhere? What are you seeing from FEMA and the federal response, if any?
I mean, they're present. They're in the way. They are directly interrupting our ability to conduct missions and operations. And I'm not going to disparage anybody because we are trying to work within partner relationships, both government and non-government entities within state and federal and county. You know, I went to put a couple of people into a hotel last night, and they have a security guard at the hotel. And they said, "Oh, we're so sorry. The entire hotel has been booked for federal employees." And I was like, no, I have people that would just pull it out of a mountain that are living out in the hills, and there's not a place for me to put them because we have federal employees that are staying in the hotel. I slept in this white car last night. I smell like foot and death right now, as does every single person on our team. Not a single one of us slept. We got done maybe at 3 o'clock. The moment the sun was up and we could fly helicopters again, we were back in the air, and we have not stopped. And I was like on the fence about trying to get on this program or not. I want people to understand how incredible this organization is, Save Our Allies, and all the work that all of these volunteers are doing. But people, this is biblical level devastation. This is apocalyptic, the things that we see out there.
These are towns up in the mountains that are 10, 20, 40 miles away from any other town. And people on the ground like you need helicopters from the government, and they will not release them. I have heard that time and again. And the people who are delivering aid up in the mountains are now getting requests for body bags. Tim, we got to
you are 100% correct. Oh, you're right about that. And there was a no-fly when the president flew in today. We had to land helicopters to not go rescue people so a photo op could take place. And that's a travesty, and that's unconscionable.
If people want to donate, is it saveourallies.com?
That's right. And if somebody is stuck somewhere, or you know somebody that's stuck, you can go to saveourallies.org, and you can click on there. Let us know. We have people going all over in the places that can't be reached. That's why we have special operations people working with partnerships to get into those areas. So go there, support that organization, and also let us know where to go.
Tim Kennedy, you are a great American. Thank you. And I know all of this devastated area thanks you, and Save Our Allies as well. We appreciate you being on the program and just taking a couple moments out of rescuing people to tell us a story. Thank you, Tim Kennedy.
Love you much, Tim Kennedy.
If you're going to make donations for Hurricane Helene, before you go pick up some items between some of our local boys that have already gone up, some of our church groups that have gone up, I've got together a list of things that are outside of the box that you might not normally think about donating that they need. And I'm going to go through the list as fast as I can. They need metal pans for cooking, paper plates and plastic utensils. They need body wipes. They're not able to take showers right now. They're asking for 1 pound propane tanks that can be found in Walmart. They're using them to cook with. They need adult diapers. They need totes, any type of tote, the Rubbermaid with the snap top, right on down to reusable grocery bags. They need orange or yellow spray paint. If you can't find those colors, anything that's bright. They need solar lights, right on down to the $1 stakes you put in your flower beds. They need packaged socks and packaged men's undershirts. They need Advil, Tylenol, Benadryl, bug spray. They're getting eaten alive by mosquitoes and yellow jackets. They need, of course, baby formula, diapers, but they need baby bottles and sippy cups to put it in. They need baby specifically Benadryl and baby Tylenol. So think about these things as you're going, you guys. All of y'all out there, we love you, and help is on the way. We're praying for you.
While the American people just went through that, there is still Hurricane Milton all the way. Look what's about to come.
Everyone in the Tampa Bay region needs to stay aware of what's happening with Hurricane Milton, and you need to follow the evacuation orders. We haven't been hit directly by a major hurricane in over 100 years. If Milton stays on the designated path, it will be catastrophic for our area.
Will it be like anything that Tampa has ever seen?
It will not be, because I'm 64 years old, and Helene was the worst that I've seen in my 64 years. That was mostly a water issue. With Milton, we're going to have twice the storm surge, up to 12 feet of water, and the wind on top of that.
For people who are saying they're not going to evacuate, what is your message?
Yeah, that, honestly, you can't deal with stupid.
Came Category 1. Yet another hurricane threat is facing Florida's west coast. Just moments ago, Tropical Storm Milton became Category 1 Hurricane Milton and could hit Florida as a Category 3 storm in just a few days. Now, Governor Ron DeSantis has declared a state of emergency for 51 counties ahead of Milton, and it could bring devastating storm surge to parts of the state still recovering from Hurricane Helene.
I urge Floridians to finalize your storm preparations now. I highly encourage you to evacuate.
Attorney General Ashley Moody went even further, Omar, telling Floridians who ignore evacuations orders that, quote, you probably need to write your name and permanent marker on your arm so that people know who you are when they get to you afterwards.
So where is Milton right now?
It is still sitting in the Gulf of Mexico, and that's the problem. It's sitting over very warm ocean waters, and that's why it's been able to rapidly intensify over the last 24 hours. A Category 1 hurricane with 80-mile-per-hour winds sitting 800 miles away from Tampa Bay. The track continues to keep it over the Gulf of Mexico, those very warm ocean waters, which will let it intensify again to a major Category 3 hurricane.
All right, we're going to keep diving into the Helene victims and their stories, and also tracking Milton and Tampa. My prayers are with you. May God protect you, Elohim protect you in these dark, deceptive times. All right, everyone, that's another one for the HFC podcast. Thank you for being here with me today as we dive down these rabbit holes. All the links for the original creators in the description below. Find the creators, the people who are suffering out there, and you could donate to them directly or even to some of the organizations that were mentioned in this video. We do live in some crazy times. We can't trust our government to save us. We, the people, have to stand together, be there for each other, and save each other. But Elohim, he will protect us all from this corrupt world. As always, stay safe, stay blessed in these dark, deceptive times. HFC out. Peace.